Let me ask you a question. Every morning when you wake up, what happens first? Most people don't decide their day. Their phone decides it. Notifications, messages, news, stress. Before their feet even touch the ground, their mind has already been hijacked by the outside world. And the problem with that is simple. If you don't command your mind, the world will. And high performers understand something powerful. Every day, stand guard at the door of your mind. Before the world influences their mind, they prime it. We call this priming. It's a simple ritual where you take control of your state, your focus, your emotional energy before the day begins. And to remind people, priming is when you think it's your thoughts. Very often, those thoughts have been primed by the environment. So we start every morning with this process. But here's something fascinating. If you look closely, Muslims have been taught priming for 1400 years. Not as a motivational technique, but as a spiritual design for the human nervous system. Something every Muslim does. So what do? Every morning, we wake up and we have this decision to make. Will I wake up and drift into another day of distraction? Or will I rise with intention, power, and purpose? Now, most people wake up reacting to our phone, to the world, to the noise, but champions don't wake up reacting. They wake up directing their focus. And look at what Islam teaches us to do the moment we wake up. The first words we say are a dua. Alhamdulillahi ahyana ba'dama amatana wa ilayhi nushur. All praise and gratitude belongs to Allah who gave us life after death. Think about that. What is the emotion that keeps most people, what messes up their relationships, messes up their career? Two of them, I believe, fear and anger, those two. What's the antidote to those? Gratitude. Simple as that is, but not namby-pamby gratitude. I'm grateful, like if I ask you, what was it like driving on a roller coaster? And you remember the roller coaster over there and tell me about it. No, there's no change in your biochemistry. But if I get you to be in the front seat going over the edge, that's fully associated. I'm going to get the biochemical changes. So before the mind runs towards worry, before it runs towards problems, the very first thought is gratitude. Gratitude rewires the brain and shifts your biochemistry. And Islam begins your day with Alhamdulillah. Your nervous system wakes up with gratitude instead of anxiety. What comes next? Changing your physiology, right? If you look at priming, you start with something physical, breath work, movement, cold water. Why? Because the fastest way to change your psychology is to change your physiology. Now look at what happens next in Islam. We said Alhamdulillah upon waking up. Now we go make wudu. Water on the face, water on the arms, water on the head. Sometimes warm, sometimes cold. What does it do? It wakes up your nervous system. It increases circulation. It resets your body. It brings alertness and presence. So before Salah even begins, your body has already been physically primed. And by the way, it not only wakes you up, it's also a mental discipline. The entire lymph system, blood flows. But there are days when, like you wake up for a fajr, especially the cold weather. It's like it's freezing, right? And subhanAllah, but there's no hesitancy because, you're training your brain in that moment besides your body that, like sometimes people might go, I don't feel like it. Of course, cold water, right? But we don't negotiate with ourselves. It's like the minute I get there, I don't go, okay, let me get ready or let me get a little bit more comfortable moment. When I say go, we go, right? And you've done that for years, right? SubhanAllah. So we start, we say go, we go with anything else. There's no discussion. This is what we're going to do right now. This is a unified force. SubhanAllah. And then you stand in Salah. And the first words you recite are the thana. And how does it begin? Subhanallah. Subhanallah means Allah is absolutely pure and free and above any imperfection. But spiritually, this subhanallah is something even deeper. It detoxes our thoughts about Allah. Every worry, every fear, every misunderstanding about life. Subhanallah. It clears it. It's like pressing the reset button on your spiritual operating system. Your mind becomes clean, aligned, centered. So what are we going to do here? We're going to spend 3 minutes on the tasbih. Subhanallah. And here, along with the spiritual side of this, we're also going to stop and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for guidance to cleanse my system of anything that's no longer needed, to strengthen my greatest strengths, my love, my passion, my commitment. And then we have hamd again in the thana. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika. Gratitude. To stop here and take 3 minutes, a minute each, and think of something in your life that you're incredibly grateful for. But I'm in the front seat, feeling it, being there, experiencing it. So it has a biochemical change, not an intellectual change, right? And usually, you can pick. It's got to be something really simple. Could be, the wind on my face. Could be the smile of my son, my daughter. And so I don't make everything that's like going to the moon, right? So we train ourselves to feel that. And then you see yourself sending that energy out, like in a circle, to those closest to you, your family, your closest friends, your associates, your people that you serve, subhanAllah, anybody that you meet or you want to meet, right? So that sets your attitude to them. And I'm sure you've seen, the Dalai Lama, they did those studies where people focus on compassion for people they don't even know. And there's a change in the brain and how it functions and affects you. So we do that for ourselves, right? So there's a science base to everything we're doing here as well. SubhanAllah. Now, you know how we said that the antidote to fear and anger is gratitude, but not intellectual gratitude. It has to be felt deeply. And look at the very first verse of Surah Al-Fatiha. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. All praise and gratitude belongs to Allah, the Lord of all worlds. Now we begin Surah Al-Fatiha with gratitude again. Our heart is being trained to start the day with gratitude, humility, connection. This is emotional priming, subhanAllah. And here we do something called the 3 to thrive. We say Alhamdulillah, and we're going to attach it, and we're going to do the 3 to thrive strategy, where we're going to think of or visualize 3 things, a minute each, that you want to accomplish or achieve. And I see them as done, see them as already done, I feel them as done, I celebrate them as done, and I say Alhamdulillah as if it's done. We activate our brain's reticular activating system, the part of the brain that starts noticing opportunities aligned with our focus. So my reticular activating system, which I can talk in shorthand for you to understand, if I go in and buy a car or outfit, suddenly I see the car and outfit everywhere. Well, weren't they always there? Yes, but now it's important to my RAS, right? So I wire my RAS for the final victory with the emotion and the impact on my family and my friends and everything else. SubhanAllah. In Islam, there's something really remarkable. When you stand before Allah, you reconnect with your purpose. Your life is, it's not random. You're an abd of Allah. Your actions today can be acts of ibadah. Your work becomes meaningful. Your relationships become intentional. Your focus becomes clear. So this is vision priming for the soul. We prime our vision, subhanAllah. And then we go further in priming in the Fatiha with a prayer. What do we ask for every single time we recite Al-Fatiha? We ask for guidance, strength, clarity. Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim. Guide us to the straight path. That's the ultimate priming dua. You're aligning your entire day with guidance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Before decisions appear, you've already asked for direction. SubhanAllah. And now you look at the sequence. You wake up, alhamdulillah, gratitude. You do wudu, it's a physiology reset. You say subhanallah, it's a spiritual detox, cleansing your system. Al-Fatiha, you do gratitude again, you have a vision and you ask for guidance. And then connection with Allah, purpose, direction. That is priming the mind, body, and soul. It's a lifetime ritual to train the heart and the mind together. And the beauty of this is you can practice this priming inside Salah and outside Salah also. We looked at how you can do this inside Salah, but outside Salah, you can take 5 to 10 minutes of grace every morning or later in the day and consciously reignite the same pattern if I feel like, I need a little boost for it, right? So you can do a 5 to 10 minutes of reignite. Gratitude to Allah, cleansing your thoughts with subhanallah, visualizing the good you want to bring to the world today, asking Allah for guidance. So now I'm wired to find the gratitude and I'm wired to find the good in it. And so it doesn't just show up, right? You do what again? You're rewarded for in public is what you practice in private. So I do all that before I get on with my day, then it flows because, I'm loading my brain. Now my inner world is aligned. So when the outside world hits you, you're not reacting, you're responding from a place of alignment. It's like, there's a difference between what people call emotional intelligence and what we call emotional fitness. Emotional intelligence is a capability. You can be capable of being smart and not use your intelligence. You're capable of using your muscle for gratitude, but not use it. So I look at emotional fitness, it's not a capability, it's a state of readiness. I've activated all the circuits. So now when I walk out there, my nervous system is wired to serve and contend in any way that could possibly show up. Right? I'm ready to contend when I go out there. And it's partly because we've prepared and we manifested the faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in ourselves by showing the commitment to the preparation. And we've primed all those stories that show up. Think of this. People have a lot of conflicting beliefs, right? So which one do they act on? We may have been raised to look before we leap, but someone else taught us, he who hesitates is lost. They're both in us, but which one are you going to act on? Whichever one has been activated the most. It's the activation of your nervous system that's the part, most people miss. So many people have great philosophical understanding, but they don't execute. And here's the thing, knowledge is not power. Knowledge is potential power. Execution dwarfs it and trumps knowledge every day of the week. Right? And amal, right? So you prime. It's activation of these circuits consciously, not just the understanding, right? And when you combine the physiological element also, then it resides in you, not as a thought. Think of it this way. It's the difference between knowing something intellectually and having it in your nervous system. So mastery starts with cognitive understanding, but if you go from that to emotional understanding, where I start to learn that if I do this, it gives me this pain. If I do this, it gives me this pleasure. Now I'm going to apply more of what I've learned. And our goal is to get down to physical mastery because you don't have to think about it anymore. It just happens. SubhanAllah. So priming, here's the truth. You don't experience life. You experience the life you focus on. And the one who directs that focus directs their destiny. So every morning you have a choice. Wake up and let the world program your mind, or wake up and let Dhikr, Salah, reconnect you to your purpose, your creator, and your power. That's priming. And Islam has been teaching it all along.